Emanating from the CATV studio in historic downtown Wyandotte, it's the Pro Wrestling Locker Room. With your host, MPW's Big Bubba LUSCIOUS, the Albanian gentleman, Mark Joke, MCWA Commissioner, Johnny Badwill, we're just getting started, so don't even think about tapping out, Jack.
Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome to the Pro Wrestling Locker Room. I'm your host, Big Bubba LUSCIOUS. Alongside me, heel fan Harper, Floyd. I thought this was a one-show deal with you being my co-host here. That's what that contract was that I signed. And then I read the small print. I always read the small print on a contract. This says this guy can come to the show anytime he wants to be a co-host. That's not fair. Or you're going to file a lawsuit against me for calling you a goon on TV.
That's right, man. But your ratings were so high from the last show, I had to come back this time.
Well, if you got this lawsuit against me for calling you a goon, I could imagine what you got against Mud Puppet Ryan then, because that guy totally called you way worse than a goon.
Well, I'll take care of him in due time.
And like Mud Puppet Joel said, you had your chance to confront Mud Puppet Ryan at the last Metro Pro show, and you were a no-show.
Do we need to talk about the poisoning again?
The poisoning. Well, Mud Puppet Joel said Mud Puppet Ryan was not at the venue himself either, but he was, because I saw him.
Oh,
he was at
sure
concession
he
stand.
Oh, yeah,
he was there. I saw him.
Eating all the food.
He was at the concession stand, so he was there, but you weren't. So maybe next time you guys will actually meet face-to-face at the next Metro Pro show.
That's a deal.
Which is May the 10th.
I will definitely be there.
Saturday, May the 10th at Rookies. Right there it is. Rookies right there on 15th and Oak here in Wyandotte. Bell time 7:30 p.m. A lot of good matches signed for that night, which we'll talk about a little bit later.
Right.
Can't give it all away right now. We've still got a while till May the 10th, so stretch it out a little bit. All right?
Yep, that's how you do
it. You've been in a couple shows this past weekend, right? MCWA finally made their long-awaited return after 2 years. It
was a good show, too.
Yes, it was.
Yes,
Mark Joke is still the MCWA heavyweight champion.
TD put his hands on JP for no reason.
Well,
no reason.
Well, JP, being the manager of Mark Joka, he's going to do everything he can to help Mark Joka retain that title. Exactly. Even if that means risking his own life. You don't want to mess with TD. That guy's built. He's rough.
And those super
JP's
kicks,
lucky
man.
he didn't have to spend any time in the hospital after what he did to TD in that match.
It was still a good match.
Yes, and also XICW had a show this past Sunday.
And I missed that one, unfortunately.
Big news coming out of that, of course. Kid Hybrid, one half of the MPW Tag Team Champions, is now the XICW Light Heavyweight Champion. He beat Jamie Cox.
About time somebody beat that guy. About time.
Who, Jamie Cox?
Yes.
You like the fun-loving criminals. I thought you were.
No, I am not a fun. I am a Murder City Saint.
There you go. That's right. Murder City Saints, MPW Tag Team Champions, Austin Mannix and Kid Hybrid. But now Kid Hybrid is not Kid Hybrid. What is the new name that he is going under now? His new moniker? Come on, you got to know it.
No, I do not know it.
Well, I don't either. But I know it's something different than Kid Hybrid. But anyways, we're going to show a special match tonight.
That's awesome.
It's a good night. So we're going to have a good match. It's going to be Action Jackson taking on Amazing Nate Mattson. How do you feel about those two?
Action Jackson is cool in my book.
Yeah?
Yep.
What about Amazing
Nate? He said I look like Kevin Steen, man.
Oh, man.
I don't even know who that guy is until I watched ROH.
Star, Kevin Steen.
Yeah, I didn't even know who he was until I watched it. So.
Well, we're going to get ready to get to that match here on the PWL. This is from the last Metro Pro show. It is Amazing Nate taking on Action Jackson.
The one you poisoned me before we show it.
Whatever. All right, here we are at the MPW Arena, Rookies Bar and Grill, like I said, located on 15th and Wyandotte. And this is Amazing Nate Mattson and Action Jackson. I am going to be calling this match, of course, with my very special guest co-host commentator, Mud Puppet Joel. Once he makes his return and comes on out here to the desk to help me call this match. But I'll take it for right now. So Amazing Nate trying to get the fans behind him as he's going to face Action Jackson. And Action Jackson and Amazing Nate don't have any love for each other. That's for sure. These two bitter enemies after what transpired when Amazing Nate was a guest referee and cost Action Jackson his MPW title shot. And Mud Puppet Joe, are you a big fan of Action Jackson?
Not at all. This has been well established in our commentary on the YouTube channel. Good athlete, a good wrestler. But the hair, I've made comments on the hair before. It's ludicrous.
Ludicrous, yes. Keep a foreign object in that hair.
Yes, he certainly could.
Any brass knuckles, anything.
Anything he wanted.
Yes, so you're more of an Amazing Nate fan?
Big fan of Amazing Nate. Been a fan of Amazing Nate since I first saw him on the indie scene. He's a consummate performer in that ring, and quite honestly, a threat to anybody he gets in the ring with, regardless of size. He's just a technically sound wrestler.
Right, and Amazing Nate, of course, a veteran here, and then has been wrestling for over 10 years, and it shows.
Yeah, and honestly, this was his first MPW show since his retirement, 2.5 years ago.
Yes.
And I could see no ring rust on him.
Of course, I mentioned his stint as the guest referee for the MPW championship match between Action Jackson and Mike Marvel.
Yeah, and you know what? Obviously, a controversial finish, and you can blame Action Jackson, you can blame Amazing Nate if you want, but you know what, Big Bubba Luscious?
Yes.
I point one accusatory finger at you.
What? Me?
I
did nothing.
You put Amazing Nate Mattson in that position, knowing he was a former wrestler, knowing he had been disrespected during his retirement speech by Action Jackson's fans.
Yeah,
recall that?
Yes.
So there was the potential for things to get ugly as they did, and as we saw, it affected the outcome of the title match.
Well, Amazing Nate had approached me weeks prior to this, to the big match, and told me he's a changed man. Give him a chance. He wants to prove himself back to the fans of Metro Pro Wrestling. And you got to say, he did call a good match. He called it right down the middle. If you remember, Action Jackson put his hands on an official.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
My only complaint is that perhaps this is why there are unbiased referees who are not wrestlers, who have no incentive in the outcome of the match. And you could argue, and again, I'm a huge fan of Amazing Nate, but I think his emotions got the best of him. Yes, Action Jackson made the mistake of putting his hands on an official. He could have been disqualified for that.
Right.
But, you put people in positions to succeed, not to make volatile situations. Of course, unless that's exactly why you did it.
No, not at all. I don't like controversy, you know that. I shy away from it.
That's so.
I do shy away from it. It could have happened to anybody. Corky right now could snap on Amazing Nate for all I know. Maybe he didn't eat lunch or dinner. He's hungry. He's like, I want to get this match done in 1, 2, 3 fast count.
I don't know. I don't know if that's
any referee in that position. That's a big spot to fill. The referee. It's a lot harder than people think.
Well, right now, we got Action Jackson on the outside of the ring. And he's certainly biding his time. He doesn't look in any rush to get back in there with Amazing Nate.
And if you're saying Amazing Nate more or less screwed Action Jackson, I'm taking?
I'm not entirely saying that, because Action Jackson, on 2 different occasions, pulled Mike Marvel's shoulders off the mat, just out of reasons of showboating. So no, if anyone wants to say Amazing Nate screwed Action Jackson, you also have to say Action Jackson screwed himself.
Right, exactly. And me being the fair man that I am, and I like to keep things fair and righteous in Metro Pro Wrestling, I granted Action Jackson this match against Amazing Nate to maybe get some physical retaliation against Nate for that decision he made.
Well, sure. After that event had transpired, it was only natural these two should meet up in a match here. And Nate taking the advantage of here, using his veteran prowess to get the better of Action Jackson right now.
I could break that arm, Action Jackson. And you're used to commentating with fat guys. I mean, you got Mud Puppet Ryan.
One in particular.
You got me. I mean, come on.
Yeah, we were out at the MCWA show, the Futures Now, that you mentioned earlier, and I'd like to thank, the heel fan for stepping aside and letting me come in here and commentate. We called the show. it was a blast, a lot of fun at the Mattson Carver Academy. We hope to do it again soon. Hope to see the likes of Amazing Nate out there. Action Jackson, like I said, great performers. Don't always. I don't make much of Jackson's attitude since he turned on Mike Marvel. I honestly didn't think it was. They were beat in a great match by the Murder City Saints. There's no shame in that. And I don't feel he had to do what he did to Mike Marvel. They had a year's run with those titles.
Oh yeah. Great tag team champions.
Finds himself here in a headlock, and Jackson's really controlling him now, though. Nate was. Now Jackson throwing those elbows.
Well, the problem with any good tag team, you've always got that problem. Somebody's eventually going to develop an ego. One of the two. We had in the Rockers with Shawn Michaels and Jannetty.
True.
Shawn obviously thought way better competitor than Marty Jannetty, which it turned out he is, and he was.
Well, early on, not to get too far off track, but a lot of the talk, I'm sure you remember, Jannetty was thought of as sort of the captain and the guy who would eventually be the breakout star. Mm-hmm. But I think fair to say Marty Jannetty had some demons outside the ring that got a little out of control for him and burned some bridges in the company, I would say.
Well, Action Jackson thinking that he has a lot more potential than Mike Marvel.
I don't always agree that to make your mark and break out as a single star, you have to turn your back on your friend and beat him down mid-ring. But obviously some people disagree. Right now, Jackson attacking that knee of Amazing Nate.
And Amazing Nate and Mike Marvel, of course, building that camaraderie there and Metro Pro Wrestling, those two. Working on a kind of like a mentor, really. Nate's kind of like the mentor to Mike Marvel.
Is that so?
Yes, taking him under his wing, which, is there an ulterior motive? I don't know. Maybe with Amazing Nate?
Perhaps.
Or is he being a genuine nice guy? Who knows?
Pin here by Jackson, 2 count and a kick out.
And Mike Marvel not at inside, of course, for this match.
Well, he shouldn't be. He should not. He should. There's no reason for him. He had a championship triple threat match later in this night. There was no reason for him to be out here. He's not a manager of either one of these two.
True.
He has no vested interest in this match. Single leg Boston Crab, and now Jackson continues to work over that injured knee. And doing so quite effectively right now.
But you got to wonder if that urge is ever going to hit Amazing Nate to once again want to be the Metro Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Champion. He once was, he might want it again.
Sure, I absolutely understand that. Any competitive sport, people want to rise to the top. And I think after Nate, when he was on the show a month or so ago, did say he had some unfinished business to square away.
Right.
But once, there's a pin here, once that's settled, I'm sure he may refocus his gaze on the top prize.
Right. It could possibly happen. He does have a lot of enemies in Metro Pro Wrestling. That's no secret.
Well, I'll give this to Action Jackson, and this is true of many guys. If he could just stay focused, right? You see right here, he's had Amazing Nate grounded for the last several minutes, focusing on that knee, taking out that leg. It's a sound strategy.
Oh, now what about this? Pulling the hair? That's not so much. And Corky should have put it into that.
Well, he did warn him earlier, but I'll say this: if you're gonna wear sport a giant fro, guys are gonna tug on it on occasion.
Well, you don't see people grabbing Ben Wallace's hair in the basketball court, pulling him down.
Ben Wallace is long retired.
Well, Ben Wallace used to be the fro, and you're the fro.
Yeah, but this is professional wrestling. This is a little different than the NBA.
True.
Again, on the outside.
The
point I was going to make, though, if Action Jackson could ever just focus on the match, and now he did, but to wrap this leg around that post. Too often, Action Jackson is distracted by the fans. He's distracted by, I feel, the voices in his own head. Telling him he's the greatest.
Right.
And again, going to wrap that leg around, and Jackson right now is showing a mean streak.
Jackson could use a mentor. Maybe someone to show him the ropes and everything and teach him to use his potential.
Perhaps. There's a pin there.
But I don't know. With Action's ego, I don't know if he'd allow somebody to tell him what to do.
No, that's a good point. I mean, we saw how, we just mentioned how things ended with he and Mike Marvel. And I know early on when the Murder City Saints were teasing at a third man, Action Jackson was one of the guys speculated. Ultimately turned out to be Caleb Stills. And I know recently there's been... And this is straight from Mark Joka's mouth at times. Rumblings that JP Investments might be interested in him, but
Now, I would have to say that I think that would do him actually well, to be in part of JP.
It may.
It would not only give him the guidance of JP, of course, who was a managerial great here in the independents, but also give him some backup in the form of Bryce Sullivan and Mark Jokin.
Backslide, Nate nearly got him
So
there.
it could be a wise move.
We'll see. I don't know.
Like I said, his ego. I don't know if his ego will allow him to be controlled by anybody.
I don't know if
really
Jackson has that type of business savvy in him.
He just wants to hurt people and do things his way. He's a wild child. That's what he is.
Back to the attack on that leg and puts Nate right back down to the mat. Well, and this is a big match, really, for both of these guys. Nate's return to MPW. Doesn't want to be shown up by one of the young bucks. Hold him up here. But Nate's resourcefully showing it right there. Kick out. You know, for Jackson, though, you adjust to the title match.
Back to the leg.
Takes him right down.
Break that leg. You might want to stop this match.
No, the ref official's not going to stop this match. 1, 2, kick out there. You know, for Jackson, though, like I was saying, he just lost a huge title match, controversial fashion.
Yes.
And what better way to get right back on track than to beat a veteran like Nate Mattson, who's done it all.
I take it right back to the top. Number one contender, for sure.
A knife edge there, working Nate into that turnbuckle now.
Yep. You know, and you got the youth versus experience. You know, the experience here.
And you can see
Jackson's got the youth, but he's also got the inexperience that Nate has. He has the experience.
He's got to have that fire in his belly too. You definitely see that, and you saw Nate hobbling there when he was whipped across the ring. So he's definitely sustained a lot of damage to that knee and that leg.
Rake in the back. Now, see, Nate's not a stranger to using those real breaking tactics.
No, he's not. But you know what?
Rake in the back like that.
Hey, wrestling's all about walking that fine line, and if you can stay on the right side of it, all's fair play.
You know, and Mike Marvel and Amazing Nate, like I said, Amazing Nate wanting to mentor Mike Marvel. That could be like the coyote watching the sheep. The wolf, or the coyote, or the wolf.
Coyote, wolf, I guess any predator works.
Any predator,
What's that saying? The wolf watching the hen house? Is that what it is?
Yeah, exactly. Because, you know, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. Maybe Mike Marvel knows all about Amazing Nate's past, and maybe he doesn't trust him 100%.
Jackson with the headlock there.
But like I said, I'm not one to cause trouble or instigate. I don't like that stuff.
Looks awfully low. I think that might be under the chin. Yeah, Corky might want to get in there.
Corky's been refereeing for many years.
I know, but if he can't see that from that distance, he might have to get some bifocals.
Yeah, he might want to stick his hand in there and make sure.
We got a 1 count.
Yep.
I'll give it to Jackson. There's a 2.
Yeah.
He has worn down Nate Mattson in this matchup. Nate holds it up here. See if he has anything left in the tank.
Come on, man.
Trying to get back to his feet.
The people chant for Amazing Nate Mattson. Oh, man. A lot of people hate Nate. I found that out.
Well, they did.
I don't know why. Maybe it's his cockiness.
They chanted many years, "We hate Nate."
Yeah, right.
Both of them look like their skulls collided there.
But I really don't think Nate really cares what the fans think of him. I really don't. I think he has his own agenda as well.
Well, I think for a guy like Nate, his career, his track record speaks for itself. Right. He really has nothing left to prove these people. Right now, Nate is in this because this is what he loves doing. He loves competition.
You know, sooner or later, too, Metro Pro Wrestling, the locker room's not that big. He's going to eventually run into the man who caused his retirement, Kid Hybrid. Kid Hybrid, of course, we were talking, me and Harper Floyd.
Fair point.
One half of the MPW Tag Champions. Those two definitely aren't friends. They're going to eventually run into each other.
Yeah, and the name you two were trying to recall earlier. Yeah, sure. Is Kid Hybrid Orlando Christopher.
Christopher, that is it. My apologies, of course, to Kid
Duck there. Runs into that heel, though, and Jackson down to the mat now. And now Nate taking the advantage. You can see even Nate's own offense now is taking a toll on his leg. You just wonder how much longer it can hold up.
Oh, man.
Nicely done there, Plants Jackson.
This could be it right here.
All right, now I think it might be desperation time for Nate. I don't know how much longer that leg can hold up.
I would definitely not even try and go to the top rope with my knee hurting like that.
High risk, high reward. He's going for it all. He's all in with this move right here. Nate off the top.
Oh, amazing leg drop. That's it. Yeah, that's it.
Count the pin, 1, 2, and
wait a minute.
Kick out by
no one kicks
Jackson.
out of that leg drop. Nobody.
Ooh, well, Nate went for it all, and he hit it, but Action Jackson had just enough left in the tank.
You got to wonder, though, with Nate nursing that leg, if that had anything to do with it. Probably didn't get the full potential.
Well, it's definitely possible. It's obviously hurting him.
Because I'm telling you, people that I've seen fall victim to that don't get up. At least not for
many matches he has won with that maneuver.
He's maybe again he's getting old. Maybe could be brittle.
I'd love to see you broach this point when Nate comes on the show next.
Oh, Nate, no secret that Nate is one of the elders of the independent wrestling.
No, but it's a different. There's a fine line between calling a guy a veteran. Jackson nails Nate with his finish there. That's between a veteran and 1, 2, and Nate kicks out.
Is there really a difference?
Well, sure.
You got veteran, you got old.
There's a difference.
I didn't say he's one of MPW's elderly.
Old means you can't go anymore. A veteran means you're seasoned. You've been around the block. You know the ropes. You take care of your business. Old's an insult.
Okay, gotcha.
Jackson trying to take the advantage here.
Wow.
Scooping Nate up, readying him for a second finish.
Oh, wait a minute.
Puts him down.
Oh,
rolls through though.
Coming up here. Oh.
Puts a boot.
Oh, that's it. Good night.
Jackson looks a little bit woozy after that.
1, 2, and 3.
Oh, they're kick out.
Man. What is it going to take to put Action Jackson away?
Well, I think this is right now.
I'm really kind of disappointed in Nate though, right here. More I'm worried about the fans, what they're thinking.
Come on,
he could have grabbed a steel chair by now.
He's just
clobbered him and won the match.
He's getting himself pumped up.
Right. Okay, let's go.
There's some mounted punches here.
Yes.
There we go.
2.
Oh, you hear that crowd? They love seeing Action Jackson being punched in the mush.
Man, I don't know about that.
Oh, Nate,
there you go, the rule-breaking techniques right there.
He's awful brave to shove his face in that untamed mane.
Oh, man, biting the head of Action Jackson.
Jackson up out to the apron now.
Oh,
Nate ducks the clothesline. And Jackson eats the clothesline out to the floor he goes. You can't beat him out there. Nate is going to have to get him back inside the ring.
Get him back in, yep. You can't win nothing outside the ring there.
So they take this one to the floor now.
Oh, man, what is he doing here?
Oh, yeah, he's calling for a fan's foot. Yeah, the fans love this.
This is humiliation. Come on.
But, it's great. On the indie scene, you can go and you can
You don't know what was on the bottom of that kid's shoe. That kid could have stepped in dog crap outside.
I don't think Nate's too concerned about that.
FTV.
Like giving each other some shots, trading elbows and fists on the outside. Meanwhile, Corky's at 6. Chop there from Nate. Chop.
Come on, Nate. You got to know what's going on here. You're up to 7 counts.
I think
8. They're
lost in their rage at this point.
9.
Chops and an eye there, and really? Corky Robinson has counted them both out.
See, I see Mud Puppet Ryan right there, concession stand. No, I saw him. He was there.
Now look, I'll vouch for him. He was not there.
Oh, come on, he was there. I saw him. He had 4 hot dogs. I just saw him.
Now he could take down 4 hot dogs, but once when we were kids, he did eat 17 slices of pizza in a single sitting.
Wow.
That led to several bouts of vomiting.
You see, he could have been in the toilet. We don't know. I think he was there. I saw him. But anyways, amazing Nate. Not happy with the decision made by referee Corky Robinson. Of course, he wants 5 more minutes, but not going to happen.
Can't blame him. They both lost sight of things.
Jackson bails out real quick. He didn't want to give him 5 more minutes.
I'm going to turn it back over to heel fan Harper Floyd, but before I go, I'm going to remind all fans of the PWL to check out the Mud Puppets on YouTube. Visit mudpuppets.com. Links to all of our social media.
Thank you.
All right, I'm done with my gratuitous plug. No problem. I'm out of here.
For your commentating skills, way better than that of the goon that's approaching the desk area right now as we speak. And Harper Floyd, you gotta admit, Mud Puppet Joel, he knows his stuff when it comes to wrestling.
He's one of my idols, man, when it comes to commentating. I've always told him that.
And he's good at commentating with fat guys.
Yes, he is.
He just brings out the natural in me.
I think I'm going to have to go over to his house and learn how to commentate.
Right there you go. You could fit in there. You with me and Mud Puppet Ryan, We're not small guys.
And as for you saying that he was there, I just watched that
he
whole
was
match.
there.
He was not at the stand.
He had the 4
getting
hot dogs.
food.
I saw you. I saw him right there. He was there. You were not there.
That looked
my
like
friend.
it was you at
know
the
what?
stand getting hot dogs.
You know what? If you want to just admit right now, it's just us, me, you, the city of Wyandotte, that Mud Puppet Ryan scares you, intimidates you a little bit. That's fine. It's okay to be afraid.
If I was a slice of pizza, maybe, but I'm no slice
come
of pizza,
on.
buddy.
Wow. Come on now. You got to be just a little bit intimidated by Mud Puppet Ryan.
When I first saw him, a little.
There you
Not
go.
no more. Not after calling me all them names. I can't be intimidated. You don't intimidate me either, even though you try.
Hey, no, I don't like controversy like I told Mud Puppet Joel. I shy away from controversy. I try and call things right down the middle at Metro Pro Wrestling, make sure the sides are fair for both people involved.
Make sure sides are fair. Well, about all that hair pulling Nate was doing in that match.
You heard me. I did not like that.
Not at
One bit.
first.
I didn't like it.
It was a good match. Too bad it ended in a double count out.
Well, you know what? Since it did end up in a double count out, for May the 10th at the Metro Pro Show, they're going to have a rematch. But this time, we're going to do it as a lumberjack match.
Awesome.
That way, there is no bailing out of the ring, no count-outs, because we're going to have the ring surrounded by some lumberjacks. They're going to throw them right back in, and once they hit the outside of that ring.
And you know what? You gave Heel Fan News the exclusive on that.
There you go. Yes, it's going to be a lumberjack match. Haven't had one of those in quite a while, Metro Pro Wrestling, but Action Jackson, Amazing Nate, welcome to the world of the lumberjack match.
There you go.
It's not very pleasant because, you know, like I said, you got your enemies outside the ring just waiting to throw some cheap shots.
How much you want from me to be a lumberjack?
Maybe Mud Puppet Ryan could come and be a lumberjack.
Yeah, we'd be on each side.
There
Yeah,
you go.
he won't make it out of the building alive.
Oh, come on. You can't threaten the guy.
I'm not threatening. I don't threat. I make promises. And
But
I always
anyways,
keep
I'm
my
sure you're going to be
promises.
happy to hear this one, too. On May the 10th, in the house will be the MCWA Heavyweight Champion, Mark Joka. Of course, we'll be in action with JP. And also, I'm going to throw another match at you. Bryce Sullivan will
Another
defend.
great.
Yes, another member of the JP Investment family will defend his PWL Television Championship against Brian Castle. The most huggable wrestler. Now, what's going to happen if Brian Castle comes in the ring and tries to hug Bryce Sullivan? I don't even want to be a part of
Knock his block off,
Right,
man.
exactly. So hopefully Brian Castle has a little bit of a mean streak because he's going to need it to face off against the big man, Bryce Sullivan.
You know, Brian Castle would make a good heel. I'm just saying. Just bringing that out.
You want everybody to be a heel. You want Trey Miguel to be a heel. Trey Miguel, of course, one of the faces of Metro Pro Wrestling.
He turned heel on
Not gonna
XICW.
Wow, that's XICW, not Metro Pro Wrestling. We're trying to keep it a little bit different.
Okay.
But anyways, it's time to wrap it up here. Of course, it's been a pleasure having you as my co-host.
Support
Hopefully,
independent wrestling.
don't feel bad to take off the next episode, okay? To take a vacation, go somewhere, okay? I don't need you here. You can handle it on my
We'll see
own.
what your ratings are like after this
Whatever. Please tell Harper Floyd to stay home, fans of Pro Wrestling Locker Room, and let me handle this. I've been handling this show for 10 years, plus 10 years. Almost 15 years.
And you know what? Don't mean to blow smoke, but you've been doing a great job.
Oh, well, thank you. Appreciate that. But anyways, it is time to wrap it up here. So for me, for heel fan Harper Floyd, we'll catch you next time.